All right, welcome back, CSRL Race 4. Here we are at Indy, a fun night race. One of our, we always do one night race each season. Got Jay with me in the booth again. Hello, Jay.
Oh, well, how you doing?
Fantastic. Ready to watch some nighttime action. Indy's a pretty dark track, so we'll have to see what kind of visuals we can get here in the dark. Um, We do have some pretty exciting qualifying positions here. Not that it's a surprise to see David Macedo qualify first, but that is a first, I think, this season. I think this is the first race he's got pole. John Snow right behind him in second, and Miguel back with us this race. He was absent last week. He's going to be starting third on the grid. Some other notable qualifying positions. This is we have somebody new racing with us, Zach. I think the name's pronounced Whitesell. If I'm mispronouncing it, I apologize. Rocking the Lexus. So Nick Driveman has another Lexus out there, and Zach qualified seventh. So good start for him. And another good one, Scott Taylor qualifying eighth. That's a impressive starting position.
Yeah, I'm always happy to see Scott so far up.
Yeah,
That's good.
absolutely. I love seeing Scott do well. The other one, just to note, I think I'm gonna say this and I could be wrong, so someone will have to fact check me. Life Undone. This is qualified just outside of the top 10. I think this is his best qualifying to date. I think this is his top qualifying position. So it'll be interesting to see how the rest of the race plays out for him if he can end up inside that top 10 or not. But excellent job qualifying 11th.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the newer guys too, so as far as I know, he's only been doing this for like 6 or 7 months. So that's
All the more impressive, right?
yeah, right.
I know I was not that fast at 6 to 7 months into sim racing, that's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I think I think he found the right group. Um, a lot of people here willing to help and willing to volunteer time to get drivers up to speed. I mean, that's always going to be a catalyst. So, I mean, it's one thing trying to do it by yourself, but when you've got a group of guys behind you to help you when you need it, it definitely speeds things along.
Yeah, for sure. And the nice thing too is there's a nice spread of speed here in this league. So you've got some guys who are really quick, and you've got some guys who are more of like your average kind of pace, and everything in between. So when you're progressing or learning, as you kind of develop, you've got other guys that you're still able to battle with on the track. It's nice that you can kind of, as you grow or others grow around you, there's always somebody with a similar skill set to you here.
And it's been one of the cool things watching this league kind of grow. Is the worry was it was just going to be nothing but hot lappers, you know, people coming in and seal clubbing, but it's actually been uh, quite nice to see that it's turned into a mix, a really good mix.
True. I will say it has gotten faster at the front as everybody's had more and more experience racing. What it used to take to run in the top three, it doesn't cut it. You've really got to push yourself. Although, you know what? David Macedo, he literally, I think, practiced this track for the first time an hour, 2 hours before the race and got pole. I didn't even mention that. So he's like that freaking kid in school that doesn't even study and then aces the exam. I don't understand how that's even possible. We'll have to see if he can maintain first the whole race, though.
Well, speaking as one of those kids, it's interesting to see someone just kind of show up and take pole.
Now we will have to see. It looks like John's going to secure first. David in that Aston getting a classic Aston start, which is just bogging off the rolling start. That's one of the real downsides with the Aston, is trying to get a strong start. And
yeah, that definitely did not look like it was the greatest of starts for David. That
I'd say
watching John walk away like that was
pretty typical Aston start. As an Aston driver, I can relate. I know it probably was not David slow on the throttle so much as the Aston just bogging. So we're still on lap 1 here, remember, and Tillman goes a little wide. That's going to open the door for Ken North to get through. Scott would love to follow him through, but wasn't able to.
And it was pretty smart on his part not to force that move. That could have been pretty dangerous.
And did Marlowe go off? Marlowe lost. It looked like I saw Blythe in front of Marlowe, and Marlowe shown it. So yeah, so Marlowe.
Ooh. Yeah, just hitting that curb a little bit too hard.
Mm-hmm. And to the front, we've got David not falling back, still a half second behind John, and then right behind him, Torres. No big surprise. All 3 of those guys are super fast.
Yeah, this is a track I've never been able to find any speed at. It's just too... I'm not a fan of infield tracks.
No, neither am I. I feel they're so soulless.
Well, not just that, but I mean, it's... This track is like a mix of 3 different racing surfaces, and everyone's got different grip, and I don't know. It's just it's too weird of a track for me. I can't do it.
I will not defend this track. There's nothing I really like about it. So we saw John touch off a little bit there, let David pull back in on him, but since that happened, John's now eked his way back out again.
A little bit of snapping going on with the old Aston here.
Yeah. And given the fact that he did not have all week practicing, I imagine he did not get a chance to work on the setup too much in that hour, so. Anything that he accomplishes in this race, it's going to be one of the situations where we'll have to imagine how much better it could have been if he actually was able to practice more. Even if he wins it, you would just think he probably would win it by even more if he had the chance. And we got battle here. Life. We got, what is it? Life, Whitesell, Taylor, and Tillman.
Yeah.
And really close. Good driving.
Ooh.
Life and Whitesell sharing some close space there. No one touching. Life's going to have that inside line. Both of them give good room. Again, good side-by-side driving. Giving each other space and right to their part of the track. And a nice Life kind of ends up in a good place where it prevented Whitesell from being able to accelerate through. So it looks like Life's going to go ahead and hold that position. Excellent job. Some good battling there between those guys.
Yeah, and you see Derringer there trying to catch a little peek around Whitesell there as well.
Says, I'm next. Oh.
Oh, and there's Torres and Tillman.
What in the...
I'm guessing it's gonna be hitting that curb on the exit of that corner. Just a little bit.
Has to be. So we're
Ooh.
riding on with Tillman right now.
Yeah, right here.
Yep, you called it. That's exactly what it was. And oh, yeah, it was Darty went to pull around. It looked like Derringer did not see Tillman stopped,
Now
and
let's see
that's
that
gonna
from Doherty's perspective there really
that's
quick. I want to
gonna
see what caused that little juke there.
yeah. So he's actually you see the smoke on the left, and
Oh, and
yeah,
it looked like Derringer was pulling to the right to avoid something, and then at the last second pulled back to the left. And
yeah. I think Derringer was trying to make sure he avoided. Watch it from Derringer's. It might have been a situation where Tillman might have still been moving as Derringer was going.
that's always rough when you're really close
Yeah,
behind the guy and you
you
can't
could.
see
What's happening in front exactly?
exactly.
I will say
So
it's good.
oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say it is good to be mindful of those yellow flags. When you see a yellow, know anything's possible.
Exactly. Well, and it's also tough because you're following the car behind you. You can't see what's going on. So you're watching intently what the car in front of you is going to do. And if
Mm-hmm.
he pulls to the right, you assume that the accident's on the
The
left and he's
left.
trying to avoid it. So
Exactly.
then you pull out to follow him, and then he swerves back to the other side, and you're just you're stuck there in a
And
sort of
this
limbo.
That's exactly. This is just the same action from before. You could see Tillman above, but this was
Yeah.
just showing Torres, who also caught that same patch of grass on the left that spun him around. So Torres made it out a lot better. He did not get head-on
Yeah.
collision by somebody,
He
and
he
Tillman did
kind of
everything.
lucked out.
And Tillman did everything right. Tillman foot on the brake, stayed completely still on the track, and probably in Tillman's mind, he's like, "I'm on the straight. This is probably the safest place to have spun out because everyone has a mile to see me."
Mm.
But in this case, yeah, Darty did not pulled out, and that's gonna impact both their races negatively, which
Yeah. I
is
mean, you see
sad.
dust, you see dirt. I mean, you know something bad just happened, and sometimes you make the right call, and
Yep.
sometimes it just doesn't work out.
And so
But no,
this
Torres,
takes.
he really lucked out there. I mean,
He did.
had Tillman not looped it, he was headed straight for Torres. So
Hmm. Yeah, we'll see if Torres can start climbing back. He's a fast driver, so right now he's already approached Life and White Cell, and he's able to get by both of them real cleanly there. So that's going to move him all the way up to 7th. And Buckley, who I think Buckley again, I don't know if it was the same tactic he did last week or if he did just qualify, but I think he started 20th. He's already up to 17th and right behind Miller here.
I just really hope things go better for Miller this race. I really
Everyone's
do.
pulling for Miller.
I've got 2 lucky rabbit's feet. Got all my fingers and toes crossed.
Oh, and he makes it by Miller right there. Watch that again from on board. Yeah, Miller just slows a lot. That was an excellent move. Got right in
That was
past
pretty
him
good.
through the S. And we see somebody else. That might be that's a
driving.
different patch of grass, but between both of those patches it'll be interesting if those end up taking more cars out this race or pulling people off. Let's see with Driveman. Driveman's made it up to more. Love the sound of that Lexus.
Yeah, it's a great sounding car. It is kind of like a crazy ex-girlfriend, though. I mean, it will try to kill you. So,
Got a loud mouth too.
well, I'm not going to go quite that far, but that definitely makes a lot of noise. Very unpredictable.
Very. You can see he kind of starts to close in on more, then more kind of pulls away. More like he might have had the better exit here, so he's gonna creep away a little bit again.
Yeah, and I have
This is a
heard
fun-
the TC on this Lexus kicking in pretty heavy, so I think Nick's probably running some pretty aggressive TC to keep it under control.
Side by side through the S's.
It's a pretty nice move.
Yeah. Safely executed. Good job driving.
There was a time when Nick would have been absolutely frightened to make that move. So
Yeah.
it's good to see him maturing as a driver as well.
He is. He doesn't shy away from racing side by side or getting into it with someone. There is Doherty. Oh, coming back out of the pits. So from his incident hitting Tillman.
Yeah, if only that counted as your mandatory pit stop, eh?
If only. I don't think that would have helped a whole lot, but it would have helped.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have saved the day, but it wouldn't have been bad either.
Yeah, that's always rough when you have an incident before the pit window. That's just extra time.
Especially when you get the tow, when you can't even drive the car back because the tow, you're just sitting. You know, you're gonna be multiple laps down, so it's hard to recover from that one. And talking about recovery, who's not having problems recovering is Torres, who's now all the way up to Scott Taylor and Ken North.
Taylor getting a little loose there.
He did, and that is going to let Torres by pretty uncontested. Gets in for, wow, nice reaction
Oof.
by Taylor.
Yeah, that was.
I almost have to go back and I got to watch this on board with Taylor just because he reacts so quickly. This is really being aware of your surroundings, not losing focus because there's a car in front of you. Scott had his eye on that brake with the braking point, and he was on point with hitting the brakes there. If not, he would have been right in the back of Torres.
Yeah, Torres is pretty lucky he didn't get punted right there.
Very, yeah, dangerous move. Immediately pulling over and hitting the brakes. You got to really trust that guy in front of you a whole lot. Bet they're gonna react in time. Which, yeah, props to Taylor. He did there. Who else do we have close right now? Stefan Buckley. So Driveman made it past Moore. Now Stefan Buckley on his way to approach Moore. See the glowing exhaust pipes of the GTR.
The AMG and the GTR definitely have some pretty cool pipes, side pipes on those.
AMG might have one of the coolest exhausts in the game if you get in and really zoom in on the detail of that exhaust system. And is he going to be able to? He wants to, but I don't think he's going to be able to. So now he's not.
He's a little too far back.
Yep.
I mean, the amount of moves he's put through these, the chicane, I mean, seems to be his preferred place to get around people.
All right, let's see what Torres decides. He's now made it behind Ken. Let's see what his preference to trying to get around Ken is. Ken having a good race, 5th place. looking good at Indy. He's had a few good races this season. And Torres gonna get inside there. And it looked...
I don't know. Did Ken just go too deep, or did he just let Torres through?
That's what I'm kind of wondering, because Torres really wasn't alongside of him, but it looks like, yeah, I think Ken did. Either he was real focused on Torres behind him and made a slight mistake, but honestly, it looked more like he was just trying to let Torres get by. More than likely, if I was Ken, I might do the same, because you figure Torres, he's got the faster pace, and maybe he can help get you up to Kumar, or you can send Torres up that he starts battling Kumar and slowing Kumar down and give you a chance to catch up. So without talking to Ken, I don't know his logic, but that might have been part of just what made the decision to let him by.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fight you don't need to get into, so all you're going to do is slow you both down. So.
How about fights? There's Driveman again. Right on the back of Blythe. Made it inside. Now they're side by side. And another move through the S section. Not the same one as before, but... Is that Lexus pretty agile?
Oh, yeah.
Driveman seems to be doing well with it through those S sections.
Yeah, it feels... It feels like it's one of the more snappy, pointy front-wheel drive, or rear-wheel drive front engines. It definitely acts like a mid-engine at times, especially on the brakes.
Especially the way it tries to kill you.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Very mid-engine-like.
It's very confusing because, it handles like a front engine, but it's got a tendency to, if you're on the brakes a little too hard or even a little too long, regardless of where your bias is set, it'll come around on you. It'll spin.
Yeah, Massey about a half second behind on Kinko. Miller showing about just over a half second behind Buckley, so if I remember,
Definitely
Buckley
looks
got
a
by
bit closer
Miller.
than that.
Yeah, Buckley got by Miller earlier, but Miller is ready to attack back, and whoa!
Whoa!
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, there's
Buckley obviously having some kind of connection issue to the server. Let's see what this looks like from Miller's point of view.
Yeah, that was...
Definitely no fault to Miller hitting him there. It looked like he was just... Yeah, he's over to the right, then all of a sudden he's back, and then back, yeah.
Yeah, that's...
So,
that's some Dragon Ball Z instant transmission bullshit
just
there.
when we think Evan's going to make it out of a race without an incident, he ends up hitting someone else, not to, again, no fault of his own, because of extenuating circumstances.
At least it wasn't the other way around. I mean,
I don't know. Does he feel better this way? Or
I know I would.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point,
having a car lag in front of you is one of the most.
Yeah, it's not good. Yeah. But I mean,
I really, it's better than getting drilled from behind, I guess.
Yeah, at this point, if Evan had two punch cards, one for receiving and one for giving, the receiving one looks a bit like Swiss cheese. So
Kumar has made it all over Albert, and he's gonna squeeze through it. Looked like Albert lost traction there and was going sideways.
Yeah, you could see the counter steer on that. That was definitely the NSX doing NSX things.
It should give us a better view here. And yeah, just a little bit late into the apex, and the rear comes along. He's probably still on the brakes a little longer, trailing on those brakes a little longer than he wanted to be, trying to make it. And that gave Kumar the position. Good thing is didn't do too much damage or didn't spin Jesse around either. He's right back out there. So And I think he's still okay. So yeah, so he fell back behind Taylor. So he did drop a few positions from that. There were a lot of guys close, but he did not get spun around or anything. So he was able to rejoin. So that put him back to 8th. And Torres, that puts him now back all the way up to 4th. So coming for Kumar next. And he's not that far away, just a few cars back from him. So back to Massey and Onkinko. Massey's still a half second behind him. There's quite a few cars up front. And that's going to cause some congestion. This all goes in Massey's favor. These cars. Oh, a bump there. Kunko got into Derringer. That's going to slow both of them down. Is that going to let Massey buy both of them? It's a long straight. He's gotten next to Unkinko. Not quite yet. There he goes alongside Derringer. If he can hold the inside here. Ooh. Goes wide.
Not quite.
Derringer manages to get the brakes, avoid any contact. Yeah, it's a really tight right-hand turn, and if you're taking it from the inside, and Kinko gets into Massey a little bit, but Massey's able to not really get it affected.
Yeah, the inside on that, it looks really tempting, but it's a door that's always going to close. So unless you're alongside, that's almost never going to work as a passing opportunity.
Well, it's such a high-speed straight that you got so much speed there. You've really got to get slowed down to even try to hold the inside line there. It's not. There's no. It's completely flat, right? You're coming off of the outside ramp, but the turn itself is completely flat. It has a curb that's going to unsettle your car. That'll force you out. You're not really able to use the curb to help pull you around the turn is what I'm looking for. That curb there is going to help pull you around. So Kinko now he's a half second behind Massey. See if he can take that position back. It looks like he's further back than that. Yeah, 1.2 seconds. It was showing half, but that obviously was not accurate. And Torres has made it up to Kumar. Yeah, all over the back. And after Kumar, it's, I think, about 14 seconds to David Macedo, so even if Torres gets around him here, he's still got a long way to go. Unkinko made it past Massey. I don't know what... Oh, it looks like Massey had gone off. Managed not to spin the car, but that was what let Unkinko by.
Yeah, just a bit of an excursion.
Yeah, we've seen it happen so many times. It's not something I personally struggle with here, but it is a weird. It's a weird turn. Like it really does draw your car out as you go around it. There's nothing like pulling you in or keeping you in tight to the apex. Well, yeah, I think he's about the fourth driver we've seen touch the dirt there, so he's not alone with it. Torres, little bit,
Trying just a little bit too hard to
yeah,
get around Kumar, I think.
I think so.
I mean,
And
kind
another,
of. It's kind of. It's funny. I mean, the Beamer's already just a wide boy, and if you can defend in it, it's got to be one of the most annoying cars to try to get around. I mean, it's already huge. So
it's fast
you
out of turns, so even if it parks itself in the apex, it can get back out of the apex quick. Although the Porsche digs out of turns also.
yeah, I mean
Oh, he
it
closed in
almost
on him a
comes
lot here. This could
it
be the
almost
move.
comes down to just putting yourself where the Porsche wants to be, forcing him to
Mm-hmm.
get off the gas, kind of a
Well
thing.
done there. Well done there. Shoots up the inside and pulls that move off. Makes it look effortless. Job from Torres. So quite the recovery. Made it up to third. And what lap are we on? Lap 14. So right back to a podium position.
Well, that's only half the battle.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to keep it on track, and
And we have hit the pits open. We're at 21 minutes into the race. So as we see Derringer going to the pits and Kinko going to the pits. So here's where things are going to start getting messy. We won't know the real running order to the race until about 20 minutes from now when the pits close. But we'll try to keep note and take note of who has pitted, who hasn't. Obviously, John's still leading the race, so he hasn't pitted. Macedo behind him. I'll let you take a guess there. Is Macedo going to be pitting anytime soon?
not until there's like 4 seconds
Yeah.
left on the window.
Exactly. I'm not holding my breath or anticipating him pitting. Ooh, Massey, little bump there. It looked like life had to slow to avoid hitting, running off the track. Massey gave him a
Yeah,
little love tap.
yeah. I just wasn't expecting the car in front of him to get off the gas.
Oh, and that's gonna put life
Ooh,
off the track. Gonna make him really tight in here. We'll see if Massey can hit him with the under move. There he goes. But next turn's going to go to the right. That puts Massey, or puts life still in position here. So I'm going to show his nose a little bit just to kind of scare him. We expect he'll make a move here. I don't know. Yeah, he's alongside enough. It looks like he's going to do it. Life waits. Tries to get him with the... Let him go by and then cut back, but it does not work there. Looks like Massey's going to get through and... Oh!
no,
Life.
just a little bit of a spin there.
That might have been the exact same place. Was that where Jesse had the same thing happen, I think, right here?
Yep, yep, that was.
And that's going to let Driveman have to imagine it's going to let a few people by.
Tillman got
And
by.
oh, here comes Driveman right now.
Yeah, there's
Tillman,
Driveman.
there's Driveman. So not too bad. That'll take him down to 11th. So he had made his way into the top 10. But it goes to show you what a battle it is to kind of keep it. It doesn't give you much room for error and having little mistakes. More or less than a half second behind Blythe. battle for 12th.
That's just one car I could never really get the handle on, the Audi.
Yeah, I drove it a season. Didn't really resonate with me. I liked it better than the old Audi, for sure, but... Blythe's hitting that inner curb, but the Aston doesn't have too many problems with curbs, so that didn't affect him much. And he carried a good amount of speed through that sweeping right that takes him onto the front straight.
Yeah, I can. I've practiced here. I don't think I've ever raced here. That corner, that hard braking into that right-hander, I can never get that corner right.
Yeah. Oh, and through this section more, pokes his nose in, and this is going to be the right coming back. And this takes us on to the long, a little bit of a straight here. So it gets Blythe back in front. He had the better exit there, and he's got the better position going into this turn.
Yeah, he's too far back.
So, yeah. And now we're going to go through the S's. The Audi, I would imagine, is pretty nimble through here. The Aston, not a huge change of direction car, so I would expect the Audi to close in a little bit here. Oh,
Oh,
the Aston touches the wheel off, but he still managed to carry enough speed that it didn't really impact him.
oh, all this has been going on. Looks like Ken North has pulled himself within about 2 seconds of Kumar. Oh, and with Blythe just
there goes Blythe.
went off. Yeah.
We're watching all this time for the battle, and then he gets handed it. So, yeah, North has. He's got Kumar in his sights.
Looks like Kumar's gaining on Torres as well.
Yeah, when Torres got by him, he didn't start pulling away too much. I mean, some, but he hasn't escaped him. And Torres, so in 16 seconds behind Macedo, so he's still got a big gap to, if he has any hope of catching Macedo. I don't know if he'll be able to close that. We are at the halfway point of the race, so he'd have to average, how many laps would be, I don't know, if would he need like an extra second a lap almost to be able to close in 16 seconds?
If I knew math was involved, I never would have shown up.
Just write an essay on it instead. Yeah.
No, and I seem to recall that
Interesting.
being about 14 seconds at one point, so
It was when he was behind, you're right, when he was behind Kumar was 14 seconds back to Macedo. You're exactly right, I remember that too. Let's see, Macedo's times, last lap was a 1:37.3. I think Torres, when we looked, he was a 1:37 also, so we'll have to keep a watch on that delta. One thing, John at this point has really started to distance himself from David, running 7 seconds in front of him. So John, the only thing he really has to worry about, unless someone starts to close that gap, is just being safe around the lap traffic. We'll ride on board with John a little bit. He's always so consistent. He's a great one to watch to get an idea of what an ideal lap should look like.
Well, you can definitely cut a bit more through there.
Mm-hmm.
Here I am critiquing his driving.
You're not first enough, John.
Yeah, right? First harder.
You're first harder. And he is going to go pit. I can't imagine. Let's see if he gets... One thing, the only time John will make a mistake usually involves pitting. He won't make a mistake anywhere else, but if one's going to happen, it's in the pits. He looked like he slowed down enough there. I don't think we'll get any speeding in the pits penalties.
Little gun shy when it comes to pit stops. The one at Brands still just makes me laugh so hard. Ping-ponged off the walls, and Austin powered himself in the pit entrance.
Why is this car not raised up? Or am I...
I don't know that it shows it raised in replay.
Okay, I was gonna say, I was starting to wonder.
For your own car, for everybody else,
gotcha.
I think it...
Alright, so who else we have? Derringer and Albert. He's about a second back from Jesse.
Yeah, North looks like he lost about 2 seconds to Kumar, so he must have had an incident or ran into some lap traffic or something.
Oh, we got to race out the pits. It's John and Moore. I would have to imagine Moore is gonna back out.
You would hope, anyway.
We'll see. We'll see. Maybe he doesn't know it's the guy in first, because it's not going to be showing John in first right now. And this is why I say it's like pulling out of your freaking driveway. It's just the worst pit exit of any track. And they make it out clean, so that's good. The last thing, honestly, if I was John, I might even let him by. I don't want any risk to my first place.
Exactly.
I want nothing. Nothing. Yeah, and behind Massey, that is Tillman. And Tillman, because of the incident in lap 2 where he was spun around and Doherty went head on into him, he was towed to the pits as well. So he's showing 4 laps down. So he is just... I don't think we're going to see him push too hard, but if he gets a chance, he'll pass if he's got better pace, which you are allowed to do too. If you are if your lap's down but you have better pace and you're trying to unlap yourself, you are allowed to pass the guy in front of you. It's not quite the same as the blue flag rules where the guy behind you has the better pace. But obviously, if there's guys battling or close racing, you don't want to interfere if you're several laps down or a lap down. What's your feeling on that, Jay?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's... At 4 laps down, I mean, you're not really going to make 4 laps up.
Nope.
I don't mind you getting past people if you're faster. That's absolutely understandable. But at a certain point, it's like, should you really be racing guys that are in the race, racing for position as hard as you would, for position, and potentially making a mistake and ruining somebody's race? It's one of those things where it's all about how much risk you're willing to take. 4 laps down, diving too wide into a really, really fast or a really hard braking zone into a really sharp corner. Maybe you don't need to do that.
No, for sure. For sure. I'm with you. If like I always admire, I like the fact that, despite what happened, you see Tillman and Doherty still out there, still on the track competing. Uh I like to see the guys don't just have a bad race and just retire.
Oh,
But
exactly.
yeah, you don't want to start interfering with guys, especially when you got some of the guys having close battles. You don't want to start sticking your nose in there and breaking their battle up. But if it's just one-on-one and you got the better pace and you can pass cleanly, yeah, definitely do it. I don't think that's a problem. And so after pitting, Life, I think it was after pitting he managed to get back, but he's back at 10th. So he's back inside the top 10 for right now. And whoa, Massey.
Whoa.
Let's see that from Driveman's
That was a bit of a
wing.
Code Brown moment there.
Yeah. There you should be able to see a good view of it right here. Yep. So I'm sure at that moment, Driveman got a nice little sigh of relief, not going to have Massey running up to him on the braking zone here.
Yeah, it's always fun watching a guy almost eat shit and die behind you.
Especially at night when you have the headlights.
Yeah, it's a sigh of relief. You don't have a guy breathing down your neck anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things where, in real racing, obviously, you'd be like, are you okay? But here you don't really need to worry about it.
Thank God
it
it's
looks like
real racing, because you know who would not have been okay? Doherty and Tillman would have both been in the freaking helicopter.
Right. And it looks like Torres got himself a stop-go for speed in the pits.
Oh, man, he had done such a great job of climbing out of that hole. And
unfortunately, there was another hole right on the other side of it.
Isn't that a bitch?
Yeah. Yeah, that's not ideal.
You know what, though? Torres, he's won every race he's been in this season thus far. He wasn't here last week, but every other race he had gotten first. So, you can't feel too bad for the guy. He's having a great season. He's had plenty of wins. Everyone makes some mistakes. What is going to be interesting is it's going to be very hard without doing the thing you hate most, which is math, every week to try to figure out what the real point standings are, because your worst week drops off, so only 7 of the 8 races will count this season. So up to last week, where Torres missed, he would still essentially be in first place theoretically, because he had all first place except for that race he missed. Now John has won. He won last week. He looks like he's in prime position to win again this week, and he had, I think, managed second or something. I think the other week, I don't have all his other finishes up, but he's had a lot of top finishes. I think his only bad week was week 1, where we raced in the rain, and that wasn't even that bad. But that week, if that week doesn't count, I think all his other finishes have been like all podium finishes, so he could be contesting first place.
Yeah.
But again, I have no idea, because I'm not going to sit there and do the math. We'll just have to find out at the end.
I'm definitely not going to do the math, so...
No.
Maths for nerds.
Ooh, Massey comes up and gets inside a Driveman running in 10th. Let's see what happens. It looks like
just a little late on the brakes.
Sees the door. Yeah, sees the door. Forgets where he's at, I think, what turn was coming up next, and just... Yeah, and there goes Onkinko. I think we've seen... I'd have to have like a tally sheet between Onkinko, Massey, Driveman. There's been a lot of change of positions between these guys this race.
Yeah, and that's what we like to see.
Oh heck yeah!
Like to see racing, not hot lapping. So
absolutely. And that's what we'll focus on. Wherever the action's happening, we don't care if it's in the between first and second or between, 19th and 20th. We're going to watch where the action is. And two other guys that have been involved in a lot of passing, Moore and Blythe here as well.
Yeah, Blythe's looked just a little bit unsure through this little S's section here. And I remember this is where Massey was, or Moore was, sort of hounding him.
Yeah. Yeah, I can understand that from my experience, the Aston, it's not that it's like not nimble, but I mean compared to all the other GT3 cars, I think it's one of the ones that doesn't love change of direction. It's not like it's absolutely terrible, but it's just not quite as nimble feeling.
It's been a while since I've driven it.
Yeah, I think it's a car that likes to be planted. It likes a set line. It doesn't really like a whole lot of last minute adjustments. It basically wants to be driven like a train, just predictable and on a steady, smooth line. Alright, so it looks like David did finally pit. We're actually at 40 minutes. We're at the 41 minute mark. So at this point, everyone should have pit. The running order we're seeing is accurate. And John back in front. David 5 seconds behind. So I think that was close to what they were running before the pit. Obviously, we had Torres who had to do the stop and go. That's going to hurt worse than his spin out earlier. Indy's a super long pit too. That's almost just a penalty in and of itself, having to go back down that pit lane, let alone actually have to stop for 30 seconds on top of it.
Yeah.
Man, Taylor all the way up in 5th place, looking good. And Whitesell in front of him in 4th. So, two of our newer guys this season. Kumar he's been with us, I think starting week 2. I don't believe he was there week 1. Maybe I'm mistaken. He's having a good race. He's on the podium right now. Whitesell, this is very first time racing with us. He's in running 4th. And Scott Taylor, longtime veteran of the league, running 5th.
Yeah, I mean, I think I officially have to stop saying I'm surprised to see Scott so far up. I mean, I think he's a front runner now. So
yeah, he's definitely got the potential, and he was looking good here. Ken also having another good race. He's always reliably solid. Jesse, I am very curious. I've not talked to him on how. So Jesse, typically too, very competitive driver, very fast driver. This is what I was about to say. I don't know how much he loves this car. I know he's typically a Lexus driver, so he likes some danger. I know I've seen him drive the Lexus, but this car just doesn't seem to be resonating with him.
Oh man, there's a difference between danger and just insanity, and that's the thing that I learned driving the NSX even just a little bit is it is such an unpredictable car. I mean,
so let me just try to make sure I understand this. So, like, the Lexus would be like Tom Cruise doing his own stunts kind of danger. The NSX is more like Jackass, light 20 firecrackers and shove them up your ass and see what happens kind of danger. Like, is that?
It's like launching a bottle rocket out of your asshole.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
It's not good. I mean, it smells weird. It hurts.
Oh yeah, yeah. And even if it's fun the first time, you're not gonna want to keep doing it. So
I mean, if it's fun the first
even if
time, you
it's
got
funny,
problems.
well, I meant more funny than fun, but yes,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. I did say fun, but it meant to say funny.
Uh,
Oh
I mean, I guess you're free to
god.
spend your
Yeah,
Saturdays however you want, but I mean, that's
absolutely.
just
You can spend them racing with us here at CSRL, or you can be lighting bottle rockets up your butt.
yeah,
However you want to spend your Saturday nights, completely up to you.
I'm not gonna judge you. I'm just saying. Just saying. But no, it.
Oh,
Oh,
Taylor is. I don't even know where Taylor is right now.
I don't
Let's
think Taylor knows where Taylor's at right now.
let's go back. We'll ride on board. What happened to Taylor? What did we miss? There is no
Something,
one really
obviously.
around him. Yeah. Ooh, a little too much inside. That Ferrari, man. It
Yeah, the
is just not a
thing's
forgiving car with the curbs. Good
stiff as a
God.
board, man.
And so at night too, this is even more fun because it's well, at least there is some track lights where he went off. Because some parts of
Yeah.
this track, it's so dark here where there's no lighting. You might not even be able to find the track after you spin out. Oh well,
So we know he lost at least one position.
yes. I see.
Yeah, that's Albert
Is
behind him.
that
So
okay? Yeah.
yeah, that's the one thing they when they updated the physics model for the 1.8 patch, the I don't know what happened to the Ferrari, but it turned into just a stiff and unforgiving
Ooh,
handful. Oh, speaking of handfuls,
little
Massey
jerky
there.
there. Yeah. And
Yikes.
and he made it past Unkinko. Unkinko was in front of him, I think, uh, before. It must have been during Taylor's off track that I think Massey made it around again. These guys just back and forth all race, with John
Uh,
approaching too.
yeah, I was just gonna say, and here comes John.
Yeah, let's see. So this is always sucks when this is the last thing you really want to come up against too, because you don't want to have to ruin any other guy's races, trying to get by, and you just hope it can be a quick thing where you can get by and they can resume. We'll see what happens here and how
Well, the
John
dangerous
and
part,
Kinko and Massey handle it.
the
What's the
dangerous
dangerous?
part is these guys are so consumed with chasing each other down that they're not really paying attention to flags for the most part. So they might not even know that John's coming up on them.
True,
And
true.
that's when stuff gets kind of dicey.
Yeah, one of the things, we say the blue flagged cars are expected to let the faster car through, but we say where it's safe to do so on straights when they're close. Like right now, I wouldn't expect either of them to pull over. John's still a decent amount back, although Kinko lets him by, so he does pull off.
I mean, it's not a bad idea.
No, no, no. It's especially knowing that there's not going to be another straight for a little bit. I think it's going to be after this right and another right. We should hit the next one, but this is a shorter one. And so, yeah, unfortunately, because he did do the nice thing of letting him by, he did lose some. But we'll hopefully see as, I don't know if Massey was letting him by or if Massey just
I think Massey just got
misjudged
scared by
there.
the car behind him.
Yeah.
Oh.
And follows them off. Such an easy thing to
Everybody,
do. Happens
everybody
to the
follows
best
each
of
other
us.
off the
Yeah.
track.
Well, it wasn't ideal, but after that, John made it past. They kind of ended up back where they were. It was through a little bit of craziness with going off and stuff, but they did make it back. More on the back of Blythe.
This has been just an epic battle.
It has.
Between these two. They've been back and forth So
Seeing.
oh yeah, just a little bit of
Yeah.
locking those rears under braking there. Might be time to start rolling that brake bias forward a little bit.
And he's got Kumar.
Right behind him.
He does.
One of those situations where, you know, he's paying attention to the fight that he's in. Kumar got him on the corner though, which is, I mean, a little riskier of a move than I would have expected, but he made it. He made it work. So
Yeah, he pulled it off without any issue. He's looking to get past Blythe next. Yeah, I think Moore and Blythe are going to be having. So if it's Kumar, we know Whitesell's about 6 seconds behind Kumar, so he'll be the next one to be getting in the mix with these two guys, with Blythe and Moore. I'm sure Moore and Blythe is like, we just want to finish our fight in peace, please. No more cars ahead of us passing. And Darty's here too, but he's so far down I wouldn't expect him to. He's same situation as Tillman, being several laps down, so I wouldn't expect him to try to get in the mix and risk their Moore and Blythe's battle.
yeah, that Audi looks like it's just a handful at the moment. That was about 3 or 4 snaps coming around that corner. Oh, looks like Moore ran off the track there.
Was it at the end of the straight?
Yeah, just ever so slightly, just broke just a
Yeah.
little too late.
Yeah, he did. He did. Like you said, ever so slightly.
Well, looks like David's managed to get that gap down from 7 to about 5 seconds.
Yeah, so last lap, fastest lap, 136.117. So David coming on strong at the end. John's still running 136.5 for the last, so John hasn't slowed down much, but David running his fastest laps right now. I guess now he's got an extra 40 minutes, 50 minutes experience at this track. He's now doubled his track time here.
Yeah, right.
Is what it is. So no surprise he's getting better. And in this situation, Albert. No, that's not Albert. You know, that's
Tillman.
That's Tillman. And so Tillman sandwiched between Miller and Derringer is gonna. So it looks like maybe Tillman lets Derringer by. Again, Derringer's the several laps on Tillman. Oh,
Oh,
and we had some contact there. I'm not sure what happened.
looks
It
like
was
just a
obvious Tillman let
little
him.
late on the brakes.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was obvious Tillman kind of like looked like he let him by, so didn't look like he was trying to battle him. But I think
No, Derringer
yeah,
had to get on the brakes. Evan was a little slow out of that corner. Derringer had to get on the brakes, and
I think
Tillman just wasn't ready for it.
yeah, I think Tillman was just, you could hear his foot wasn't on the gas at all. I think he was just expecting I'll leave my foot off the gas and Derringer should be accelerating here soon, and it just didn't happen.
I mean, he did the right thing. He waited for him.
No, yeah, you could tell. Definitely wasn't intentional or no malice. Just Moore back on the rear of Blythe here. He has caught him. Do we have any... Oh, no. Oh, no. White Cell has made it up to him now. They're never going to get to have their battle, I'm telling you.
Yeah, they settle in, and then...
There comes the next car. So we'll actually just kind of watch this from... no, we don't get a good view. We'll stay with it on this. Oh! White Cell splits the gap. It looks like he had missed the braking point. Let's go back
trying
and
to get around, just trying to get around more, and pulled out just a little late. Missed his braking point.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And then pulls to the right just in time to miss Blythe. Managed to split the gap. If it was a few mile an hour faster, I think he would have made contact with Blythe. That was close. Yeah, and Whitesell doesn't want to ruin his race either. I mean, he's up 6 seconds on Ken North, running a solid fourth. We've only got 5 minutes.
Who knows what it is now? 2 seconds, 2.7.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Got closed the gap a lot. So we are about 4 minutes left in the race. And again, with some of that, it helped Blythe kind of get a little bit away from Moore. And David's cut it down to 3 seconds. You were spot on about David starting to creep up on John. God, it's gonna be tough though. If he's 3 seconds, we've got about just under 5 minutes left in the race. He'd really have to be. So John ran a 1:37.5. Had to be one of his worst laps.
Yeah, it's the most likely
starting
traffic.
to go, or I was gonna say, or traffic. So 1:36.6. David running fast, so 3 seconds. I see Torres had made it pie on Kinko a little bit ago. For the Blythe and Moore. So yeah, we got like 3 things we have to keep note of. So we got Blythe and Moore really close as they've been the whole race. We've got Ken North 2 seconds behind White Cell ever since White Cell went off, and Macedo down to 2.8 seconds behind John. So 3 things we'll have to try to keep track of here. And Undone a half second behind Derringer. This is a lot of last lap. I feel like we almost need to pause it and watch each person. Hopefully,
Well, we
we
got
don't miss anything here. This is
that's
stressful.
John coming up on the back of these guys too. So
Oh, then we can watch everybody. This will be good. This lets us watch both battles.
yeah, David's 2 seconds behind as well.
The helicam's too tight here. I wish we had a wider helicam. It's not the best. Yeah, so David, can we see John? He's got, man,
Oh, yeah.
I bet you he must be just, God, he's like, probably like, if this race was just 15 minutes longer. But this lap traffic, this could really help him. If John takes a while to get through here, and John could also get panicked and start to worry about David closing in, he might make a move and try to cut through when he shouldn't. No, Derringer's going to let him by. So that is good. Man, he is close. I think this is going to be the second to last. I think we've got... No, this is going to be the finish. This is it. This is the final lap, so... Oh, it's going to be tough. There's no real place he's going to be able to close in enough.
No, not unless John makes a pretty big mistake.
Commendable job, though, coming into this race with basically no practice and being able to finish that close. That is ridiculous. Undone. Also...
I think we still got one more to go.
Do we? Oh, yeah, you're right. This is the final.
I think we do. Yeah.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Okay, nice. So... Just gonna keep trying to flip between these. And more, we're showing 2 seconds behind Blythe now, so something must have happened that they got separated a little bit. So we'll stick with David and John the race for first.
2/10 behind Derringer we got. Oh, 3/10 now.
Very close also. And David... I would love to know where David's catching on him too. I hadn't seen enough to be able to tell for sure what the section of track is. Alright, well then, so this is the end then, I think. I think this is our final lap, this one.
Yep.
And David's on him. I mean, he's close enough that if he can... I don't know what... he's not going to have anything he can pull here. He'd have to carry a whole lot more speed. Yeah, commendable effort though. That was sick. There's the checkered flag. Yes, congrats, John. Congrats, David. That was like, where's Derringer and Undone? Close to each other, and they made it. How about more? So, man, Torres on Massey also. Did he get by? So Moore had been on Blythe the whole race, but the whole second half of this race he had been close to him, but the final lap it looks like he dropped back. I don't think he's going to be able to make anything happen. As I say that, he's starting to close the gap. We're approaching the last sector here, and if he's gonna hold the inside, try to scare Blythe off, see if Blythe can rattle him. Blythe holding inside here, but Moore carrying a lot more speed This is going to be a photo finish. Moore does it. He got that. Yeah, look at that. He's celebratory wiggle there. Little wiggle wiggle. Wow.
By what is that? 2/100ths of a second? No, that's
Yeah.
2/1000ths.
Yeah. I mean, that was just a fraction. Great job all the way down to
Two
the
one
end.
thousandths of a second.
Man. All right. Well, that was an exciting finish. Thank you, Moore and Blythe for giving us that. That was good fun. That's what I like to see, man. Action right down to the end. Sometimes you get to the end of these races and things get so spaced out that there's not much to watch or really talk about. This one was great down to the end. We had three. It's probably more than that. Honestly, look how close some of these were. We had three, four, five, close battles these last couple laps. Great to see.
Yeah, that was a nice change of pace.
Yeah, I like it. I don't like the track, but I like when it brings us racing like this. That was a lot of
Hmm.
fun. Well, it's that time. Before we sign off, driver of the day. Who are you going with?
Who am I gonna go with? That is a good question. I think I might have to go with Macedo. Sort of showing up, no practice, uh, and then just hunting John down toward the end of the race there.
Oh, it's
That was
crazy.
yeah, that was some pretty interesting racing. I think I'm
Yeah,
gonna have to give it to David this
yeah,
week.
that was some Hollywood stuff right there. I mean, that is insane that he was able to pull that off, and then you start to count him out because John's so many seconds ahead, and he just starts to claw his way back at the end of the race. And John is so reliable that usually once he pulls out in front of somebody, you're not going to start making pay. You're not going to start climbing back on him. So that was insane. Great job, David. Well deserved. You know what? I will go with. Man, there's so many good ones. Like honorable mention, life finishing top 10. That's awesome. Whitesell first time racing with us up in fourth. Great job. I'm gonna go with Moore. Just him and Blythe having all that close racing, and him being able to pull out that finish, as you said, 2 thousandths of a second, right there at the end. Gave us a lot of good fun racing to watch. So I'll give my driver of the day to Moore.
That's absolutely an amazing choice.
This
Two
was
one
a great race.
thousandths.
I mean, honestly, I could have four drivers of the day, but that's not how it
Mm-hmm.
goes. So, but yeah, it was awesome. A lot of fun. This was good. I hope next week brings us even half as much fun as this one was. So, where are we going to? We are now at Snetterton, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, we will see everyone there Saturday. Anything before we sign off, Jay?
Uh, no, not that I can think of.
All right. Well, off to fire some bottle rockets out butts then.
Yeah, wow. I mean, I
All
think
right.
I might spend my night a little differently, but
All
if
right.
that's
I'll
that's what you're into.
I'll see everybody next week. Bye.